Hi everyone. My name is Jessica. I'm 34 years old, a mom of two, and up until last year, I thought I was living the life I always dreamed of. A husband, kids, a stable home. I thought I was one of the lucky ones. But nothing could have prepared me for the night my world collapsed. Michael and I had been together for 11 years, married for 8. He was 36, my best friend, my partner in everything, or so I thought. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday. Nothing special. He came home late from work, saying there was a last-minute project. I'd heard that excuse 100 times before. He kissed me quickly, barely looked me in the eye, and went straight upstairs to shower. That's when I heard it. The buzz of his phone on the counter. Normally, I'd never even glance. But something in my gut screamed at me to check. Call it instinct. Call it intuition. I wish I hadn't. The message preview alone was enough to make my stomach drop. I can still taste you. When's the next time we're sneaking away? I couldn't breathe. My hands shook as I unlocked the phone. And there it was, weeks of messages. Dozens of photos. Inside jokes. She called him her soulmate. He called her his muse. He told her she made him feel alive. Alive. That's what he said. While I was the one holding our life together. Her name was Amanda. 28. A coworker. And from the way she wrote to him, she was convinced they were destined to be together. I scrolled and scrolled. Pet names. Plans to escape together. He told her he wished he could leave me right then and there. By the time Michael came downstairs, towel wrapped around his waist, I was sitting at the table with his phone in my hand. Who is she? I asked. He froze. Color drained from his face. And then, the first lie, it's not what it looks like. Not what it looks like. She literally wrote that she could still taste him. I laughed bitterly. Try again. And then he broke. Fell to his knees, sobbing, begging me to listen. He admitted it all. The flirting, the drinks, the hotels. He swore it was a mistake. He said Amanda made him feel young again. Made him feel alive. Alive. That word hit me like a knife. But I didn't scream. I didn't throw him out. I simply stared at him and said I need time. Because in that moment, I made a decision. This wasn't just betrayal. This was war. And Amanda? She had no idea who she was messing with. The next morning, after a sleepless night of staring at the ceiling, I did something Michael never expected. I messaged her. Hi Amanda. This is Jessica. Michael's wife. We need to talk. Her reply came fast, almost like she'd been waiting for it. Finally. I was wondering when you'd figure it out. My heart was pounding, but I agreed to meet her at a coffee shop downtown. I'll never forget the sight of her. 28 years old, smug little smile, sitting there with her latte like she'd already won. I introduced myself and she didn't even flinch. She just said, Michael told me all about you. All about me? I asked. Yeah. How you don't understand him. How you two are basically roommates. How unhappy he's been. He deserves better, and he knows it. That's why he came to me. I gritted my teeth, but I stayed calm. He came to you? Amanda, you're having an affair with a married man. She smirked. Don't act like you're the victim here. He told me he loves me. He told me I'm the only one who makes him happy. And honestly, you should thank me. Because I'm giving him what you can't. Then she did something I'll never forget. She slid her phone across the table. It was a photo of them together. In bed. Smiling. I wanted to throw that coffee in her face. But instead, I leaned in, smiled, and whispered, keep him. But I promise you, you're going to regret it. Her smirk faltered just for a second. And that's when I knew I had gotten under her skin. What Amanda didn't realize was that while she thought she was in control, I was already planning my revenge. That night, while Michael snored in bed, I sat in the kitchen with a glass of wine and started collecting everything. Screenshots of their messages. His emails. Hotel receipts. Venmo payments with disgusting little emojis. Amanda's embarrassing Instagram poems about their cosmic love. And as I read through them, it just kept getting worse. She called him her twin flame. She saw angel numbers, like 222 everywhere, and told him it was proof God wanted them to be together. She even bought jewelry to commemorate their love. A necklace. A ring. She went as far as getting a tattoo for him. And Michael? Every time he tried to end things, she'd cry, manipulate him, and he'd cave. He was too much of a coward to walk away. For 2 weeks, this circus went on. Him sneaking around, her acting like they were soulmates, and me, pretending to be the forgiving wife while building my case. Because I knew exactly how this was going to end. Not with me screaming, not with me begging, but with both of them exposed. And I decided the stage for my revenge would be our wedding anniversary. An anniversary Michael would never forget. Our anniversary was coming up. 11 years married. And I decided it would be the perfect night to end everything. While Michael thought I was softening, I was planning. I designed invitations, beautiful little cards that read, "Come celebrate 11 years of marriage with Michael and Jessica. An evening you'll never forget." I sent them out to his parents, to my best friend Rachel, to a few close family friends, even to Michael's boss. And yes, I sent one to Amanda. Michael thought we were just having a small dinner at home. He had no idea what was coming. The night arrived. I set the table, lit candles, poured wine. Michael actually looked relieved, maybe even hopeful, like he thought I'd forgiven him. At 6:30, the doorbell rang. One by one, the guests arrived. His parents walked in, confused but smiling. Rachel hugged me tight, giving me that look only a best friend can. Then his boss arrived, holding the invitation, curious to see what this celebration was about. And then, Amanda showed up. Dressed up, makeup perfect, that smug little smile plastered on her face like she was the star of the show. Michael's face drained of color. "Jessica, what is this?" I stood up slowly. My heart was pounding, but my voice was steady. "This," I said, "is the truth." I pulled out the thick folder I had spent weeks building and dropped it on the table. Screenshots, emails, hotel receipts spilled everywhere. His boss picked up a paper, scanning the charges. His mother gasped, hand over her mouth. Rachel folded her arms, glaring at Michael. I picked up one sheet and read aloud, "I love you, Amanda. You make me feel alive. I wish I could leave Jessica right now." The room erupted. His mom cried. His dad shook his head in disgust. His boss's expression turned ice cold. Amanda's smirk finally cracked. "And Michael?" He stammered, begged, "Jess, please, we can talk about this." But I cut him off. I pulled out the divorce papers I had tucked neatly in the folder and slid them across the table. "Happy anniversary, Michael. You're free. And so am I." Amanda tried to speak, but the room was already chaos. His parents stormed out. His boss left, taking some of the evidence with him. Rachel whispered, "Good for you," and squeezed my shoulder. Amanda slunk away, humiliated. And Michael? He dropped to his knees in front of everyone, sobbing, begging me not to do this. But I just stared at him, calm for the first time in weeks, and said, "You made your choice. Now live with it." That was the night everything changed. After that dinner, everything unraveled faster than I could have imagined. Michael didn't come home that night. Honestly, I didn't care where he went. For the first time in months, I actually slept peacefully. The fallout was immediate. The next morning, his boss called me personally. Michael had been suspended pending an investigation into fraudulent expense reports. Some of those hotel stays? He'd charged them to the company. Then his parents left me a voicemail. His mom, crying, apologizing for raising a man who could do this. His dad's voice was stern. "We're ashamed of him, Jessica." Rachel showed up on my doorstep with coffee and croissants, like the ride-or-die friend she's always been. She told me I was the bravest woman she knew. And Michael? He started blowing up my phone. At first, he was apologetic. "Please, Jess. I'll do anything. I made a mistake. We can fix this." Then he got desperate. "Don't do this to our family. Don't ruin everything we've built." And then angry. "If you leave me, you'll regret it. I'll make sure you get nothing." That last one made me laugh out loud. Because little did he know, my evidence folder was airtight. But the real curveball didn't come from Michael. It came from Amanda. 2 weeks later, I got an anonymous package in the mail. Inside was a cheap silver necklace and a handwritten note. It said, "Jessica, you may think you've won, but you'll never have his heart. He's mine. He'll come back to me. He always does." Hey, my hands shook with fury. She wasn't just delusional, she was dangerous. I filed a police report. Rachel helped me start the paperwork for a restraining order, just in case. And that same night, Michael showed up at my doorstep. He looked awful. Unshaven, tired, desperate. He dropped to his knees right there on the porch, crying. "Please, Jess. Amanda's gone crazy. She won't leave me alone. I need you. I only want you." I stared at him through the glass door. For the first time since this all began, I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel sadness. I didn't feel anything. "You need me," I said coldly. "You should have thought about that before you betrayed me. Go ask Amanda for help. She's the one who makes you feel alive, right?" And then I shut the door in his face. The next morning, I called my lawyer and officially filed for divorce. Full custody, child support, the works. And with the folder of evidence I had, it wasn't even a fight. The weeks that followed felt like stepping out of a storm into clear air. Michael lost his job. The investigation confirmed everything. Those hotel stays, the lies, the misuse of company funds, it all came back to him. And just like that, the career he'd built for over a decade was gone. His parents stopped speaking to him. His friends quietly drifted away. Amanda? She posted one last melodramatic poem online about losing her twin flame and then vanished. Probably off chasing her next fantasy. Meanwhile, I was free. I signed the divorce papers with a steady hand. Full custody of the kids. Child support locked in. I didn't even have to fight for it. The evidence spoke louder than either of us ever could. And little by little, I began to rebuild. I started therapy, focusing not just on the pain, but on finding myself again. I went back to school part-time. Rachel cheered me on every step of the way. My kids became my anchor, my reason to keep moving forward. Michael still tried, though. He called, he texted, he even showed up at the house again. But every time, I turned him away. Because here's what I learned. Sometimes the best revenge isn't waiting for karma. Sometimes the best revenge is creating a life so good, they can never be part of it again. Michael lost me. Amanda lost her fantasy. And me? I walked out of the fire stronger. I'm Jessica, 34. Divorced. Free. And alive, more alive than I've ever been.